Hello there, Decobloom friends. Craving Parisian charm in a small apartment? You're in the right place. Today we're unlocking timeless, elegant living. Think gilded mirrors, soft linens, and an effortless French balance of romance and restraint. Stay with me to discover space-smart ideas that feel luxurious, never cluttered. I'm thrilled you're here. Let's sip an imaginary café au lait and step into chic, compact living that whispers Paris with every detail. An oversized gilt mirror leans with quiet confidence, catching daylight and multiplying space until room feels twice as generous. Its Baroque frame whispers of past salons, turning scuffed floors into ballroom reflections, inviting silk, linen, and laughter to gather in a softly glowing corner. Placed opposite a window, the mirror becomes your borrowed boulevard view, bouncing sky and rooftops through the apartment. It anchors an elegant ritual. Straighten flowers, adjust a cuff, steal a last glance before the door clicks shut. Timelessness arrives not with clutter, but with light composed. Pull a petite round table to window and let the city become your companion. Two slender chairs promise lingering breakfast, clinking teaspoons, a plate of tart cherries. The corner hums with cafe ease, where conversation meanders and sunlight stains napkins the color of creams. Every meal is a postcard. Marble cooled beneath a saucer, steam rising like a sketch, the drape breathing with a passing breeze. Here, elegance equals intimacy, as plates stay simple and moments feel curated. A small circle becomes a stage for everyday romance, endlessly renewed. A freestanding vintage mantel conjures architecture, where walls are plain, framing candles, tiny busts, and penciled studies. The ledge edits life into vignettes. Wax cooling, matches asleep in a porcelain dish, a book open to a favorite line. The room learns to speak softly. At night, candlelight pools like champagne, gilding gypsum and shadow. The mantel draws eyes upward, lending stature without weight, a promise of history in rooms built yesterday. It is ceremony without pretense, a stage for seasons, lilies in spring, pine in winter, always an invitation to linger. With slender trim you sketch Haussmannian, whispers across blank walls, rectangles breathing depth into the simplest paint, shadows sharpen at dusk, turning corners theatrical yet calm. The illusion proves enough. Structure without scaffolding, heritage without hassle, elegance assembled with patience, a carpenter's pencil and measure restraint. A single tone keeps it tranquil, the molding reading like stitch seams on a tailored coat. Art floats within these frames, or not. Negative space becomes another kind of portrait. When the day fades, lamplight kisses edges, and the room seems learned, composed, and quietly assured. A slim linen sofa arrives like a sigh, its ecru cover catching light the way paper holds ink. Cushions fold into gentle creases, inviting a novel, a nap, or a midnight conversation. It anchors the palette, letting metallic sparkle and woods warm without shouting. In small rooms, softness is strategy. Linen's breadth and texture make neutrality feel decadent, never dull. A brass floor lamp nods nearby, and a throw drapes with nonchalant precision. The sofa becomes a harbor, elegant by day, intimate by evening, forever ready for unhurried living. Gather sketches, black and white photographs, and postcards into a salon constellation. Gilded frames mingle with thin black ones, telling stories of travels, books, and borrowed afternoons. The wall becomes a conversation partner, charming and slightly unruly, like a friend who always knows the best table. Arranged by instinct more than measure, let a small portrait flirt beside a dramatic empty mat. Negative spaces breathe between gold edges, giving drama room to bloom. As daylight moves, tiny highlights wander frames, animating memory. The gallery grows with you, elegant and alive. Let marble appear like punctuation. Here a side table, there a tray, perhaps a lamp base cool as morning. Its delicate veining reads like handwriting, turning everyday surfaces into quiet sculpture. Paired with brass, the stone's restraint becomes opulent, never fussy, always serene. Fresh flowers lean against that polished calm. Teacups find ceremony, and keys discover importance. The room acquires a rhythm of smooth and soft, reflective and matte. In a space measured in steps, luxury lives in touchpoints. Small, precise, unforgettable every time fingertips arrive. A slender chandelier descends like a sentence ending in light. Facets scatter tiny constellations across molding and books, translating evening into theater. The piece doesn't demand silence. It composes it, turning clinks and whispers into music as shadows lace the ceiling medallion. Parisian elegance often hangs, not stands. Suspended glass add height without crowding, making the room feel breathier, grander yet intimate. Dimmed warmly, it flatters faces and fabrics, dignifying casual suppers and solitary letters alike. Under its shimmer, ordinary nights discover a little ceremony. A faded Persian unfurls underfoot, its palette softened like tea with milk. Low pile and warm medallions anchor the room, catching chair legs and secrets with equal grace. It tethers furniture into conversation, keeping the space generous but gathered, poised yet comfortable. Layer a smaller kaleem or sheepskin where feet land first, adding story without chaos. Every thread speaks quietly of markets and mornings, of patience dyed into wool. The result is a civilized hush, acoustics mellowed, color restrained, elegance softened until it feels like home. Cane backs and rattan curves bring warm air to structured rooms, sunlight woven into pattern. A single chair, a stool, a basket, textures that exhale. Against ivory walls and marble accents, the natural fiber reads like a handwritten note in a leather-bound book. The charm lies in contrast. Delicate lattices beside polished brass, pale reeds against deep wood. These pieces travel easily, migrating between corners as needs change. They soften silhouettes, invite touch, and lend a kind of nonchalance that defines Parisian rooms, cultured, comfortable, gracefully undone. A narrow console sketches a welcome without stealing space. On it, a sculptural lamp, a slim vase of roses, and a modest stack of art books strike a practiced casualness. The entry becomes a prelude, promising taste before the first room truly begins. Below, a small catch-all gathers keys and lipstick. Above, a small frame snags light at dusk. The composition changes with seasons, shells in summer, pine cones come December, but the grammar remains elegant. Everything has a place, and nothing overstays its welcome in the corridor's hush. At the window, black rail planters trail ivy like cursive across the glass. Even without a balcony, the silhouette suggests ironwork and streets below murmuring with scooters and gossip. The room borrows city rhythm, fresh air, distant bells, a lingering bakery scent imagined into morning. A slim cafe chair waits nearby, acknowledging the view, however small. Pots patina, leaves wander, and the horizon becomes yours by suggestion. The vignette whispers of rooftops, chimneys, and endless conversations, delivering romance without the lease. Sometimes elegance is a shadow well placed. Ivory curtains fall to the floor like a gown, hung high and wide to dramatize the window. They filter daylight into gentler weather, smoothing edges, elongating walls. Fabric gathers in measured waves, a civilizing gesture that turns any room into a composed paragraph. At night, they thicken to privacy. At dawn, they bloom into softness again. The silhouette flatters every piece nearby, from velvet pillow to weather frame. In small apartments, height is the true luxury, and drapery, expertly placed, is architecture made of thread and light. A plaster bust surveys the room from a stack of books, mentoring the flowers and a lamp with dignified calm. Edged pages, a ribbon bookmark, a matchbook from a favorite brasserie. Together they shape a still life that reads both scholarly and tender. Rotate volumes for color and scale. Let a cameo or coin tray lend a sparkle. The vignette rewards attention. Titles tempt, textures layer, histories overlap. It is elegance that invites touch, a museum you can rearrange. Culture live rather than catalog behind glass. Lay a peel and stick herringbone where footsteps begin, foyer, kitchen strip, a reading niche. The pattern recalls Parisian parquet, its arrows guiding the eye forward, making distances feel considered. Warm oak tones coax the room wider, the geometry civilized yet playful underfoot. Because it is suggestion, not overhaul, the hint behaves lightly. Rug edges align, chair legs find cadence, and the smallest square of floor gains narrative. In design, a whisper often works harder than a shout. This one speaks fluent elegance with every step. Pair gold's warmth with matte black's discipline. A frame here, a lamp stem there, against a neutral wall, and suddenly the composition clicks. The dialogue feels couture, sparkle restrained by structure, softness sharpened by line, a duet that flatters everything around it. Keep the gestures precise. Too much glitter becomes noise. Too little contrast, a sigh. With balance found, the room reads Parisian without pastiche, modern, edited, timeless. The eye travels from highlight to shadow as if along a boulevard, guided by rhythm, delight, and poise. A slim bar cart claims an overlooked corner, arranging cut crystal in a single decanter like jewelry. A framed postcard from Paris flirts above, promising stories with every pour. The setup suggests hospitality ready at a moment, elegant and effortless as a raised eyebrow. Keep bottles few and beautiful. Let citrus glow in a small bowl. Evening gathers here first, glass catching lamplight, ice answering with a hush. Guests understand they're cared for. Even alone, a nightcap feels ceremonial. Luxury becomes a pause, not a performance. A floral still life hangs with quiet authority. Petals muted like silk, vase slender as a sonnet. The painting civilizes the wall, bridging vintage and modern with a single gesture. Its presence is perfume without bottle, romance without words, elegance decanted into color. Set modest furniture beneath, a chair rail, perhaps, and let the artwork breathe. Light grazes a canvas, revealing brushwork like lace. In winter, it brings spring. In summer, it cools the room to reverie. A bouquet that never wilts, forever teaching restraint and charm. Introduce curves where corners dominate. A cabriolet table, a scalloped tray, a rounded ottoman. Their gentle geometry softens a room's tempo, coaxing conversation into loops instead of lines. The eye relaxes, moving slowly, discovering elegance in transitions rather than endpoints. Curves flatter small spaces by refusing to block pathways. They tuck close, glide beside, and invite touch. Against straight moldings and square rugs, they read like laughter in a library. Respectful, warming, memorable. A few well-chosen bends can transform austerity into grace. Cluster slender tapers, a vintage snuffer, and a subtle diffuser atop marble. As dusk arrives, flames thin as quills write light onto walls, while fragrance drifts like a new paragraph. Atmosphere becomes decor, enveloping guests before a single word is spoken. Rotate notes with seasons: citrus in spring, rose and tea in summer, amber as nights lengthen. The Tableau teaches patience. Candles are conversations you light. As wax pools and wicks glow, the apartment contrasts into intimacy, a Paris evening distilled into breath and shimmer. And that's our tour through Parisian-inspired elegance, proof that small apartments can feel graceful, layered, and inviting. From mirrors that double light to textures that breathe warmth, each choice adds quiet luxury without excess. If this inspired your next refresh, please like the video, subscribe to Decobloom, and share your favorite idea in the comments. Your support helps this community grow. Merci, and see you in the next episode.